I think Republicans have been unwilling, for whatever reason, reluctant, resistant to voting early and voting by mail. Do they have to get over that reluctance, that resistance?
Sure. Look, I mean, you have to play the game by the rules that are existing. That means, for example, if you want Generation Z voters, you've got to be on TikTok, even if, in fact, in the long run, we may abolish TikTok as a Chinese communist device.
And why are Republicans so unwilling to vote early and vote by mail? Guess we'll never know. I mean, my God, these Republicans are so utterly afraid of Donald Trump. I can't decide whether their abject terror is more funny or pathetic. The lengths they will go to shield this guy. Sean Hannity literally says in this clip, Republicans have been unwilling, for whatever reason, to vote by mail. I mean, I can think of one reason, and it's the guy who Fox News itself has predicated its entire existence on. But because Trump commands total loyalty and Fox basically gives it to him, now we're at the part where Fox pretends that it has no idea where this strategy came from, but that as soon as they get to the bottom of it, they'll definitely, totally let you know. Tell you what, if Hannity is really looking for the network responsible for pushing the idea that voting early and voting by mail is bad, I don't think he has to look too far. Let's do a little experiment here. This is the Fox and Friends crowd just a couple of days ago lamenting how bad of a strategy it is to rely solely on Election Day voting.
I'm interested to see whether the extent to which Republicans have learned lessons of the past and decided to really push early voting.
They should.
They have to, because a lesson of the last couple cycles is Democrats, largely using COVID emergency measures, know how to bank votes legally. They go at low propensity voters time and time again. And then Republicans count on Election Day to turn people out, which has a lot more variables for failure.
Yep, a very measured, reasonable insight. And yet, here's a fun little clip from July of 2020 where the same exact people shared their thoughts on vote by mail and early voting.
He held up multiple reports in the so-called mainstream media with the problems of mail-in ballots. 1,800 Floridians whose their mail-in ballot came after the deadline. Nevada, 6,700 ballots rejected because it didn't have signatures. Pennsylvania's primary last month, late ballots considered disqualified. I mean, in Wisconsin's primary, this is in April. 23,000 ballots were thrown out because they missed at least one line in the form. That was the margin of victory for Donald Trump in 2016. So if you're concerned about election integrity, you can see the train coming down the tracks of the problems we will have if there are pushed mail-in ballots. And that's the point he's trying to make.
Well, a lot of Americans don't trust the U.S. postal system because they've had budget cuts. They've had so many problems in the past decade or whatever, or however long it's been. And everyone knows if you go in person to vote, you know your vote is counted.
Correct.
But if you try to mail something in, there's a big chance that it's not going to get to the folks who are counting these ballots.
If you can get to Target, if you can get to Home Depot, if you've been doing your food shopping, don't tell me you're too concerned about your health to go to vote. There are people that are concerned like they've never been before. I get it. There should be accommodations there. Just like there should be some type of proof. You're going to get a handicap sticker. There's some type of proof.
You can request an absentee ballot.
A postal situation. Just use logic. Don't wait for CBS to do a report, which ended up proving that Trump was right. Just use logic. You sit in your house. There's 5 ballots on your for your family. 3 of your kids, 18 to 21. I'm not going to vote. You could vote for me. You could send it in. When I get around to doing it, you click the box. A domineering parent tells the kids how they're going to vote, or some kids will grab their parents' ballot and send it. Can't we just have this one moment to vote for one candidate every 4 years and show up and put a ballot in without licking an envelope or pressing on a stamp? If you can shop for food, if you can buy liquor, you can vote once every 4 years.
It's so true. How many shared civic moments do we have in this country
None.
right now? Where we
every 4 years.
Every 4 years, one time. That's all. Just one thing can we come together. Do it responsibly. If you need to request an absentee ballot, as the president made very clear, that's what he's talking about. I messed up my ballot in the New Jersey primary this year. I lost the secure envelope inside it. So I had to go in and vote provisionally, which means my vote didn't even count unless they needed it.
Yeah.
What a mess if that's nationwide as they push ballots out to these voter rolls, many of which are outdated anyway.
So yeah. I wonder where all those Republicans got the idea that vote by mail and voting early was bad. I guess we'll never know. Let's do another one. Here's Maria Bartiromo just a couple of days ago also lamenting the fact that for some reason Republicans don't trust mail-in voting.
Yeah, you make a good point about the early voting, and that's what Kevin McCarthy said to me yesterday. Republicans need to find a way to trust the mail-in ballots and mail-in voting so that it can start before game day, if you will.
And here's Maria Bartiromo in October of 2020 absolutely losing her skull over the dangers of casting your ballot by mail.
Yep.
Yeah.
More than 2,000 LA County ballots printed, mailed without presidential election, without the presidential race on the ballots.
I forgot to put my name
ballots
on the
are being
ballot.
thrown in the trash.
That's
Ballots
right.
are being sent to dead people. I have another story every day on this situation. What are you going to do about it, Mr. President? If they cheated in 2016, they're going to cheat again. How are you going to stop this and ensure that you have the wherewithal to fight back if it's all ballot lies?
2,000 ballots.
Joe Biden has
They forgot one
800
minor
lawyers.
detail.
800 lawyers.
So yeah, Maria, crazy how your viewers believe the things that you told them. And of course, then there's Donald Trump himself, and I could choose from over 1,000 different examples of him whipping his supporters into a frenzy against mail ballots, but here's just a small sampling.
But it's a corrupt system because they're sending out millions of ballots. Now, when you send out millions of ballots, when you're the sender, you can send them wherever you want. You can send them to Democrat areas, Republican areas. You don't have to send them at all. Mailmen are being, as you know, indicted. One was indicted yesterday in New Jersey. Another one was indicted in West Virginia. Mailmen. Ballots are being found in riverbeds. They dumped a whole, they call it a tray. A tray is a lot of ballots. I don't know how many, but it's a lot. They found trays of ballots in the river. They found 8 ballots with my name on, military ballots, 8 ballots with my name on it in a waste paper basket in another good state. No, it's a terrible thing. And then when you bring it up, they say, Maria, then when you bring it up, oh, he's not for freedom. He's not for a smooth transfer, you know.
Maybe we show this clip to Sean Hannity to help jog his memory, since apparently he was born just this week. Seriously, if any of these people were capable of any introspection whatsoever, I'd be worried. Let's just say that I'm not. And on that same point, consider this too. Republicans are all out here claiming that they need to change things if they want to win. And yet, Ronna Romney McDaniel is still the RNC chair. Donald Trump is still the favorite for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell are still the House and Senate leaders for the GOP. So they say that they want change, but because theirs is a culture of never taking responsibility for their own actions, no one thinks that they did anything wrong, and so nothing is ever actually going to change. Like, it really is incredible to watch how Trump's never take responsibility attitude has so thoroughly pervaded his party and just caused it to rot from top to bottom. Not that I'm complaining. And by the way, that's a sentiment that even Laura Ingram picked up on.
I felt it, you felt it, but we don't change anything. We have the same people in place in leadership, same people in place apparently at the RNC. Perhaps that's not changing. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm pissed tonight, frankly. Go ahead.
However, the ultimate irony here is that Laura Ingram herself is the biggest Trump lackey there is. Yeah, I wonder why people listened to Donald Trump when he told his supporters not to trust mail voting, asks the woman who spent the last half-decade groveling over his every word. It's just incredible watching a woman with absolutely zero self-reflection demand that her fellow Republicans show some self-reflection. It is like the Olympics of no self-awareness, and Laura Ingram's a gold medal winner. So in terms of anything changing on the right, I wouldn't hold my breath. This is a party, again, that not only has no desire to accept blame, but no cognitive ability to accept blame. I truly believe that they have no idea that they've done anything wrong. And so their egos and pride will continue to lead them down this same path of destruction. And to that I just say, you made your beds, now enjoy lying in them. Before you go, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can click the thumbnail right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work even further, the best way is to subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. There you can check out my interviews with major players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, Jamie Raskin, and so many more. Plus other interviews that live exclusively on the podcast. That link is also right here on this screen, or just search No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen wherever you listen to podcasts.